The Nintendo Switch might be the very first Nintendo portable that I'm gonna pass on. In my defense, this is not the first time I said I was gonna pass on something only to end up buying it later down the road. Also, side note, I was fat as fuck in this video. So back in March, I made this video explaining why I was going to pass on the Switch. Now, when I made the video, I was referring very specifically to that point in time when the Switch had just come out and the library didn't really have the games that I wanted to play on the damn thing. Namely, Intelligent Systems, please, you skipped the 3DS entirely. With Advance Wars, there hasn't been an Advance Wars game in close to 10 years, I want to guess. I'm too lazy to search right now. I just finished work. But yeah, they skipped the 3DS entirely. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that there's going to be an Advance Wars title for the Switch. There's definitely going to be a Fire Emblem game for this thing, because that's all they care about right now. And I'm not a huge fan of fantasy. Medieval fantasy, not my cup of tea, right? So I'm hoping, anyway, at the time, the library wasn't really to my liking, but some games have come out since, namely Super Mario Odyssey. That's the game I bought the system to play, so I had to pick it up. And I figured it's high time I do an update to that video, saying what I think about this quote-unquote portable. And let me start with that. The Switch is something to me that it's what I envisioned back in the day when I was a little kid and I wanted a Game Boy, but it was hard to justify the price to my dad because the concept he had in mind when he thought of consoles, of a video game console, is something that's, you know, it's a big thing that you turn on to you plug into your TV, and my dad used to think that there's more value to this than there is to a portable thing that just goes in your pocket that only I could play. There's also that if you bought like a Super Nintendo, my brother and I could enjoy it, and it counts as a gift for the both of us. Whereas a Game Boy, he'd have to buy one for each. It was hard to convince my dad. So I thought that it would be great if there was something like the Game Boy that you can hook up to a television and play it, like you can play it on the go, or you can play it with your friends on the TV in the living room. Of course, this idea was some 20 years ahead of its time, but now we got something that's kind of like what I imagined. So yeah, of course I would eventually buy this thing, even though, like I said, I don't really consider this thing portable. This is pretty big, and it's kind of prohibitive to just randomly bring this thing with you when you're out and about. You kind of have to plan your outing around this, namely big pockets, maybe a coat so you can stash this thing away when you're not using it, but yeah, I guess it's portable enough. For the library, now, there's a lot more games coming out now than there were back when I made this video, obviously. It's still not where I want it to be, but there's something very interesting happening with the Switch is they're porting a bunch of older games like Skyrim, for instance, or LA Noire, which tells me two things. First, this console is a lot more powerful than I gave it credit for, and the other thing is it's going to be amazing to see these big console titles on something that you can carry with you on a train ride or on a long flight. So I actually really like that idea. I like that it seems like we're going to see a lot more adult titles on this thing than we're used to seeing on Nintendo platforms. For the love of God, Rockstar, you put out GTA 5 for this thing, which from what I've read on the internet, this thing is more than capable of running a watered down version of GTA 5. I'm happy with that. You put GTA 5 out on this, and a lot of people think that LA Noire is kind of a test to see if we are willing to buy older Rockstar titles on this thing. I'll buy this game for the 4th time, okay? You have my money. Just put it out on this thing, please, I beg you. So let's talk about the Joy-Cons for a second. So as you know, the Joy-Cons are these two controllers here that you can take out of the Switch, and then you can give it to a friend and play multiplayer games. This is something I really wanted to enjoy. I love that idea that I have something with me that I can, at the drop of a hat, turn into a multiplayer platform to play games like Mario Kart, which is a lot of fun on this thing. Problem is, these things are really, really small, and I'm not a tall guy, so I imagine that if I'm having trouble playing, I mean, having trouble might be too strong a statement. It's just not super comfortable. I can still play and have fun, but I can tell that my 10-year-old brother is enjoying this a lot more than me. One other thing that's probably worth mentioning is that I had two big reasons why I wasn't super excited about dropping, what, $400 Canadian on another portable machine. And it's these two things. This is the GPD-XD, which is basically an Android tablet to run emulators on, and this is the GPD-Win, which is, believe it or not, a laptop, a full-fledged Windows machine to play Steam games. So I was really into these things back when the Switch came out. So, you know, Mario wasn't out yet, neither was Pokemon. I'm not a huge Zelda fan, so part of why I wasn't so excited. Now, something that I've been considering for the last little while, the 3DS. Is it still worthwhile? It's very obvious that the 3DS family is not going to last forever. Nintendo is going to switch focus to the Switch very soon. Some would say that this is already happening, but I'm a huge fan of the DS. But shit, I've been playing Advance Wars. Remember what I just told you about intelligent systems? Yeah, I've been rocking my old DS Lite that I bought more than 10 years ago to play Advance Wars. Side note, I fucking love this thing. It's small, it's beautiful, it's super portable, the battery lasts forever. I gotta do a video on the DS Lite. I think it's still, to this day, if you can pick one up on the cheap, a used one, I would recommend doing that. I really love this system. But the 3DS. My good friend Bob Wulff, and this is long overdue. Bob Wulff over at the Wulff Den is a YouTube channel, one of my favorite YouTube channels. The dude is a massive Switch fan. He's been doing a lot of videos on the platform. If you're really in the mood for Switch information, for videos about this console, head on over to the Wulff Den. I'm gonna put the links in the description. Let them know that I sent you. Great people over there. I really love the production values on this channel are through the roof, and I'm actually amazed that he doesn't have like 1 million subscribers yet, but I'm pretty sure this is not going to take very long. So go check it out. Like I said, links are in the description. So yeah, the 3DS, is it still worthwhile? For me personally, I actually want to pick up a new 2DS XL. I sold my 3DS as I wasn't playing on them very much, but since I've been rediscovering the DS library, and I actually miss having something more portable that is capable of playing these newish games, these 3DS games that I kind of skipped. I want to say for myself personally, as a Nintendo collector, I still think the 3DS is worthwhile for now. So what is my verdict on the Switch? I'm actually loving this thing. The fact that it's a concept that I envisioned when I was a little kid, that it's finally here, it's real, it's a pretty powerful machine, so I'm excited that third-party developers are bringing these big titles like Skyrim or LA Noire. Older games, sure, but I see that as kind of a trial. So if we're buying them, and people seem to be buying them, we might see some really amazing things. It really changes up the dynamic, the way you play the game, these older games, to have them on a portable, or at least quote-unquote portable device. It's something, as a portable fan, how can I not be on board with this? Again, Rockstar, GTA 5, I beg you. And really, let's be honest here, the system is not even 1 year old yet, and it already has 2 of the most highly rated games of all time, Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey. So even if Zelda Breath of the Wild is amazing, and I say this as somebody who was never a huge Zelda fan or anything like that, that says a lot about the game. So yeah, I'm really excited for the Switch. To think that's only been a year since this system has come out, and we've already seen so many interesting things for it. Holy shit, I haven't even mentioned Virtual Console. Nintendo will presumably eventually put out the Virtual Console, which is essentially an online storefront to buy old video games from their back catalog, the games that I've been stealing for so long on emulators, and I'm finally down for buying every single. I'm gonna redeem myself of my sins. I'm gonna buy all of these fucking games when they come out, whenever that happens, because Nintendo hasn't really been super forthcoming with that. Nintendo being Nintendo as usual, but it's gonna come out. We're gonna have all of these Super Nintendo games, N64, maybe GameCube, who knows? I cannot wait. This is gonna be amazing. When this thing runs their back catalog, holy shit. But that's all the time I have for today. I want to know how you feel about the Switch. Are you in on the hype for the system, or are you gonna pass on it like early 2017 Izzy? Let me know in the comments down below as always, and I'll catch you guys next time.